Welcome to Tech Blueprint, a window that lets you know the latest technology news in the world. As we all know, since the end of World War II, the United States has brought back more than 1,200 German scientists and forced them to do scientific research for itself, laying a solid foundation for technological hegemony. Not only that, in order to attract the world's top scientific and technological talents to work for it, the United States has also offered generous salaries and benefits, attracting a large number of foreign scientists to study in the United States. According to data, the United States has always ranked first in the list of top talents in the world, and it can be said that it has long become a gathering center for global scientific and technological talents. With the support of a large number of talents, the United States has also mastered a number of cutting-edge technologies in recent years. For example, in the field of semiconductors, it was the first to invent transistors and integrated circuits, and has a large number of core technologies and patents in its hands. After so many years of development, American technology has long penetrated into all aspects of the global semiconductor industry chain. Whether it is TSMC, Samsung, ASML, or SK Hynix and other semiconductor giants, they all use some American technology and equipment, which means that the United States has always occupied a dominant position in the global semiconductor industry chain. Huawei and other Chinese companies have been sanctioned one after another, and China has launched a countermeasure. However, the emergence of Huawei's Kirin chips and 5G is like a sharp blade that pierces the heart of American chip companies, making them feel the threat from the Eastern giant companies for the first time. At its peak, Huawei not only surpassed Qualcomm in the field of mobile phone chips, but also overwhelmed Apple in the field of mobile phones. In the field of 5G, it even beat Qualcomm, Ericsson, Nokia, and other old communication giants. It can be said that as long as Huawei is given enough time, Chinese chips and 5G will definitely be famous overseas. However, a big tree attracts the wind. Huawei's strong rise only touches the core interests and market share of American companies such as Qualcomm and Apple on the surface, but actually shakes the technological hegemony established by the United States for decades. Therefore, in order to consolidate its hegemonic position, the United States has launched comprehensive sanctions against Huawei. From the entity list to the change of chip rules, this series of suppression has also caused Huawei to suffer a great loss of vitality. Not only has its mobile phone consumer business rapidly slumped, but it has also fallen into the dilemma of no chips available. It can be said that this is the darkest moment in Huawei's history. However, even if Huawei falls and Apple and Qualcomm are full again, the United States has no intention of stopping. Instead, it has successively included more than 1,000 Chinese companies in the entity list, including outstanding technology companies and university research institutes such as Insper Group, Hesai Technology, and Harbin Institute of Technology. The United States even wooed Japan and the Netherlands to reach a tripartite agreement. Its purpose is very simple, that is, to comprehensively restrict the development of Chinese technology. The good news is that in the face of the United States' frequent sanctions on Chinese companies, China has also decisively carried out a series of counterattacks, such as China's export restrictions on photovoltaic silicon wafers, LiDAR systems and rare earth-related technologies, as well as gallium and germanium, two core semiconductor raw materials. Export restrictions, and on August 15 this year, the General Administration of Customs and the Ministry of Commerce issued another statement, that is, from September 15, export controls will be imposed on items such as metal antimony. It should be noted that in terms of metal mineral resources such as gallium, germanium, and antimony, China is one of the world's largest reserves, and the United States has been relying on imports for many years. Therefore, once China imposes export restrictions on these mineral resources, its military industry and semiconductor industries will usher in a catastrophe. The United States suddenly announced the lifting of the ban on Chinese companies. Has the counterattack finally paid off? Faced with a series of countermeasures from China, the United States seems to be unable to bear it. At the end of last year, it successively removed 4 Chinese companies, including Qingda Allslight Electronics, Ningbo DAI Laser Technology, and China's Second Heavy Machinery Group, from the entity list. What is even more unexpected is that on August 12, the Pentagon suddenly announced an important decision, which is to remove Hesai Technology, a Chinese laser radar manufacturer, from the entity list, which is equivalent to lifting the ban. It is important to know that once it is included in the entity list by the United States, it is difficult to be removed. It can be seen that the sudden lifting of the ban on Hesai Technology by the United States this time can also be regarded as the result of China's countermeasures. Therefore, many netizens have speculated whether the United States will lift the ban on Huawei later. Personally, I think it is unlikely, or even impossible. Because Huawei has now achieved a breakthrough under layers of blockades, Kirin chips and Huawei mobile phones have begun to return strongly, and Huawei 5G is the world's first, so such a strong technology company, the United States is unlikely to lift the ban, but will increase restrictions and sanctions on Huawei. Even many foreign media have said, it is ridiculous to want to lift the ban on Huawei. In fact, the reason why Hesai Technology was removed from the entity list by the United States is that in addition to its own strong entity, China has been constantly pressuring the United States in recent years and even countering it. In this context, the United States has to compromise. But there is another possibility. That is, American companies want to cooperate with Hesai Technology in an attempt to obtain LiDAR technology and data from it. Therefore, no matter how many Chinese companies the United States lifts the ban, China cannot have any illusions about it. It is the best way to take the road of self-research down to earth and insist on investing heavily in research and development. Only in this way can China completely break the blockade and get rid of its dependence on American technology. Please like if you agree.